What's going on, everybody? It's time for NA ESL Pro League. Mega Man and Bach bringing you guys the action tonight. We're going to be starting off with Selfless versus Winterfox on Train. How you doing, Mark?
Pretty good, can't complain. Kind of an interesting map to see these two teams play. We've seen Selfless play quite a lot with a pretty low success rate, losing to Cloud9 and Renegades, beating CLG as well, but Winterfox, I think they had actually one win on this map as well against Luminosity, so it's kind of not really sure what to expect, and obviously a lot of weight on the knife round. Both these teams wanting to get their side selection. And now, in your opinion, Train, CT-sided, T-sided?
Definitely a CT-sided map when played properly. Granted, this is NACS, so anything could happen, but definitely a CT-sided map. Usually 10-5 or better for the CTs. It's going to be a pretty reasonable to good half. Selfless, I mean, they're coming into this matchup pretty hot right now. They won both of their matches last night against Splice in Pro League. I know that they had a pretty good run at the iBuyPower tournament, doing some pretty big things over there. They took down Luminosity 2-1. I believe they beat Winterfox in that 2-0. So it's really going to be a matter of what form Winterfox shows up in today in this matchup for me.
I mean, Selfless and Winterfox both have this kind of weird streak where you can see them play in one map, they play solid lights out, and they destroy an opponent that on paper should likely beat them, and then in the next map, it's the opposite. If you actually look at Winterfox's match history, they've only been 2-0'd one time this season. Every time they played an opponent, it was a 1-1. And there was usually like 16-7 or less. And then when they win, it's 16-7 or less. So it's kind of an interesting thing that occurs with their squad. But it is going to be a B-side attack here by the likes of Selfless. Uber going to be the first one in, goes down to Desi. Desi's also going to take the head off of Mitch. Gets another one, shoots back towards his teammate, but it doesn't matter. Desi's going to pick up a 4K. And somehow he's still left standing here, 14 HP. And now he's getting hungry for that ace. It's just Nifty left standing. Flosik's going to spot him as he comes up towards the top of ladder. And Winterfox pick up a huge pistol round on the back of Desi.
They just played as a turret in that site. Got a little confused there from where that last player was shooting at him from, but adjusts his aim. That player was very low and ends up getting 4 headshots out of the round. So huge round from Desi and a huge investment into the second round here for Winterfox. 4 FAMASas and an M4. So this is actually a big buyout for them. Round that they obviously feel like they desperately need to get off to a really good start in this matchup. So kudos to Desi. Big hold on that inside train yard. Now they're going to throw out the one-way smoke at the lower inner ramp. And he's going to be able to find frag number 5 of the matchup already. The headshot onto Relics.
Right now, the T side of Selfless just stacking up in towards the back halls, waiting for that smoke to fade so they can push their way through. They don't have a smoke to attack with. They had a flash. They're going to throw it right up and over through that nifty new gap that was put in. Nifty. See what I did there? Mainline, the last one standing. He's got a P250. Only going to get 1 kill. That's the second 4K now for Desi. He's found himself on 8, only 2 rounds in. If he keeps up that performance. I know, probably unlikely. But if he did, my God.
That would be insane. But 8 kills after 2 rounds? Damn. Plus, he stayed alive in that last round, too, so he doesn't have to rebuy. He's sitting on 1,700, does invest 2,800. I believe he dropped the UMP over for Flosik, who was the casualty on that inside train yard. But again, back-to-back, 2 massive holds from Desi. This time they're going to aggress on the inner lower ramp. They're going to let Flosik lead with that ump. He's going to take the opening battle. They actually dropped the bomb carrier, but now it's going to be Desi again. Finds another pick. That's number 9 for him. If he does go down through ladder room, he might be able to find out Nifty. They are going to push down through Ivy, so denying the 4K this round for Desi is going to be XP3, who picks up a double over there by Ivy, and that again is going to leave Nifty all by his lonesome here by T-Con. He's going to go down immediately afterwards towards Anger, and again, I mean, 3-0 for Winterfox. Desi sitting on 9-1.
People forget that once upon a time, Desi was being looked at as a promising up-and-comer being picked out by the likes of iBuyPower to play on the international stage. And it didn't really work out in the long run, and this is where he's landed after, several different bounce arounds. But, he's still got a tremendous amount of talent, and I think the rest of the team really does too. People look at their record and they say this team's garbage, they don't belong. I don't think so. I just don't think things have actually clicked 100% yet. I'm waiting for it to happen. I keep waiting. I'm faithful and patient, I think that one day Winterfox will actually have a solid winning record. But here comes the Ivy take from Selfless. It's down to a 3v3. Flosick very low on HP, down on 12. He's over towards the inner yard. He's going to be wrapping around towards CT where they've already got one moving in. That's going to be Mitch. Mitch catching Flosick a little bit off guard. Anger now moving towards Old Bomb. Mainline's already in that position as well. He's got the FAMAS and he can't win the duel, so it's all on Desi, the man who has had all eyes on him throughout the majority of this game so far. And it seems like that's going to be one of the few duels that Desi does not come out on top of. And Winterfox lose the first bye to Selfless.
I'm a little bit curious why Winterfox started to rotate all the players outside. They had the bomb down in the box halls. That opening engagement, they went for the fast push up onto the stairs at inner upper. They found the trade up there, and they actually had the bomb down at the bottom of the stairs. They got a 2-for-2 or a 2-for-1 up there in the halls before that push came down on Ivy. And they had the bomb down, so why not relinquish the hold on outside? Lex actually took a peek on Ivy and threw his life away to the op of Nifty. So, a little curious by that play. Questionable call on that one, but nevertheless, like you said, Selfless, they do pick up the first full gun round there, and now it's going to be down on the Ivy side, so we'll see if XP3 is going to be on point with the AWP. Believe he saw Mitch cross. Not sure if they know that mainline is over there, and Nifty's actually going to come around the corner now as well. He does have the AWP. And we'll see probably a little bit of an up-on-up battle going on down here at Ivy.
Ooh, XP3 almost times the shot well as the smoke goes down, just hoping to catch one crossing. It's going to be a 3-2 split as they have two stacked up towards ladder. Relics and Uber just waiting for the boys on Ivy to make their way out. Mitch sitting on top of that box, spots XP3 through the smoke. He's going to have to back out, but Lex is going to get the spam through the smoke to take down Mitch, who had the hot hand in their match against Cloud9. Had an impressive performance. Mainline now creeping up on Ivy. XP3's waiting. The jiggle peek from Mainline is flawless, and it manages to catch out the off of XP3. Now they've got all four CT side players storming in towards the B side, or the A side for that matter. Desi actually, though, going to backpedal over towards B, knowing that there's still a possibility they can move in that direction. Flosick back towards Old Bomb. He's going to have to toss a flashbang towards CT as they've already wrapped around from Ivy. Both players are there. Nifty in a really difficult spot, though, stuck between Old Bomb and Ivy. The other player has made his way over towards the B side, so Mainline's coming in with the backstab here from the players coming out of Z Connector. Doesn't get the kill, but the bomb is making its way onto the site, so it should be a post-plant scenario with Winterfox coming in on the retake.
Yeah, but this positioning from Relic's very good. He evens it back up onto a 2v2, but they're not accounting for Desi to come back around, and now they know where the last player is. Mainline, who's trying to harass there from CT spawn. He's going to be able to get the molly out, but there's plenty of time left on the bomb. Desi's actually at 1 HP, so he's going to actually end up going for the defuse once the fire settles, because he does have a kit. They're just going to waste a little bit of time here, try to salvage the AWP that was over there at Ivy's side. Actually, no one's over here by CT. I believe it's still going to be over here. No, actually, it looks like Mainline picked it up and moved it, but they do salvage the op anyway over there by Ivy's side. So XP3 is going to be back on the op going into this round. 10 frags now for Desi, 5 rounds in, still holding on to that 2 FPR. And another round on Winterfox, but with that bomb plant, that's going to at least enable Selfless to buy up again. So you can see a Galil, Tech 9, and the rest are going to be on AKs. Not a lot of utility, but still not a bad buy behind this.
No, not a bad one at all. The question is, without that utility, what do? You likely send somebody out quick, and that's exactly what they do with Nifty here, sending them right down towards Sandwich and T-Hell. But the CT side is going to push on Ivy. Anger already pushed up towards Dumpsters. He's going to go for the smoke. Mainline catches him out. XP3 could come in on the refrag, but strafing across Ivy with the op, he wasn't really in a great position to go for it. So now Nifty still sitting back towards T-Connector on the ladder on Blue Train. He's got one down at the bottom of ladder as well. That's Uber. Top ladder is Relics, just looking to see if they push in towards the B side. Uber's going to spot one on top of Brown. And Mainline making his way up Ivy. Could come in with the backstab here. Lex in a tight spot, as is Flosick playing inside of Sandwich. 2 players stacked up in towards a similar position. If Mainline goes for the pounce, he should be able to catch these players off guard, but a little bit delayed, and he lets his teammates die. Gonna get the one towards T-Hell, but an immediate trade out by XP3. Pushes it to a 2-on-2 right now with Relics and Uber facing off against Desi and XP3. Bomb is down towards Blue Train, and they're gonna go for a 1-1 split here with the op back towards Old Bomb.
They should at least know that the bomb is down. Lex was the one that killed the bomb carrier at the time, so they should have that information. Now, granted, it could be picked up by now. Desi going all the way over towards the B-bomb site to play in the box talls just in case there's a fallback. And XP3 is over here by Ivy. He actually got that pick from Old Bomb, so it should be known that he could be lurking in the back lines here. Uber looks like he's Yeah, they're going to go ahead and take the peek, but XP3 is going to find that kill, and now it's all down to Relics 1v2. They've got to know that he's going to be out in the outside train yard. He's going to go for the plant. XP3 is going to be a little bit slow on the push around, and Relics is actually going to be able to peek him out. Oh, he gets the 1, but can't get the 2. And that was actually a nice little late round crossfire, inadvertent crossfire, but nevertheless, that's going to be Winterfox picking up a 5th round and another 2K for Desi, so he's at 12-2.
Really rough round, though, for Winterfox. Cost them a lot of money. That's 2 rounds in a row now where it came down under 2 players. It was a 2v1 there, and obviously Relics gets the bomb plant and takes out XP3, as we saw. But so down to 1 in round 6, down to 2 in round 5, and both times Selfless was able to get the bomb plant, so an extra $800 going in their pockets, while they're simultaneously ripping it out of the CT's pockets. So they're down to just their last few dollars here. As you can see, the CT side's buying for broke a little bit. They do have rifles across the board, but 2 FAMAS, the op on XP3 a little bit light on utility, and he's already thrown his only smoke, or his only grenade, really, which was the smoke. The T side spreading out right now. It is an eco round of sorts, kind of forcing up a little bit. Relics did go with the Galil Tech 9 on 2, but they're dropping like flies here. Mainline, Mitch, and Uber all down. Anger and Lex coming in with frags. Finally, the Galil's going to show itself, but it's only going to get 1 frag. Nifty not able to make anything happen with the Deagle. So Winterfox stomp out that force buy from Selfless, and they are able to recover a little bit of the money they had lost in the previous round.
I don't like that thought there from Selfless. They had to know that they took a lot of guns out of Winterfox's hands so that they were going to be pretty low on money. A money reset there would have been really, really helpful for them on the T side of Train. But Winterfox, they're managing things well. The op of XP3 is doing its work. He's 7-3, 6-3 for Lex, so he's stepping up as well. Anger getting that spam shot through the smoke to open up that last round. That took a Tech 9 and armor out of the hands of the terrorist side. And now it's going to be pretty much a full-blooded eco round here for Selfless. That nade down Ivy, though, going to do a little bit of damage. The follow-up nade as well. That's got Mitch down to 56, softened him up a little bit, as well as mainline to 66. And Desi all the way up here in the box toss. So if they do decide to tempt the fates and push up into the inside train yard, he should be pretty savvy to this, but they're not going to check the corner. Flow6 going to be able to find 1. Mitch trades, but Lex and XP3 chime in with a couple. Nifty gets dinked. Almost they get doubled. But XP3 has been wreaking havoc with this op outside, and now it's all down to Relics, the spam from the USP, and Lex is going to finish him off. 7-1 for Winterfox. They came to play.
You know, this was something that a lot of people were curious about when they started making the roster changes. When Selfless had lost Kusta to Team Liquid, which was awesome for Kusta, but not so awesome for Selfless, everyone was wondering, what are they going to do when they need to put an op in play? And, you know, XP3 might not be the greatest opper in North America, but he's consistent enough to do some damage, and he's been doing it without really any threat from the opposite side. Nifty hasn't really been able to hold it that often, but even still, when it's come down to Nifty with the op, it hasn't been too impressive early on. So just needs to shake off the cobwebs a little bit here, as we've seen him use the op in the past and have a decent success rate. But really, that has been the problem for them, and one that people were positing early on in the season after the Kusta deal happened. How are they going to handle these ops? And right now, they don't appear to be handling it all. Still 5 players up, though, so no early round picks from these ops. And it seems like Selfless is going for a little bit of control towards the B site. Relic's already pushing up towards back halls. Does he know that Desi's in this position, though? He seems to be falling off. And there you go, the op of Nifty finally going to get the first frag of the round, taking out Lex over on Ivy.
One of the big factors for me and the fact that Selfless hasn't been all that successful so far in this matchup is Uber, who's kind of been their dominant fragger for their team for the past, months since they lost Kusta. And he's down there with only 1 kill right now. So it's going to be mainline, seeing if he can't get out of Ivy here. Flowstick is around the corner, drops a nade out. Going to do a little bit of damage, not a lot. The mainline actually goes down, and now Nifty can't go for the trade because a Molotov is there. He'd have to push the fire. But look at this. There's the backstab from Uber. But unfortunately, he's not going to be able to spin on Anger. Relics does TK him, but it was kind of a necessary evil at that point to find that other pick. And now it's going to be down to Desi, who lines him up, but he can't convert. And Relics finds a 3K on the round. Technically a 4K since he killed Uber. But the fact that he's able to come online a little bit in that round and find a couple of picks, and now the terrorist side are actually going to go on a double-up setup. So this might be a little bit of that change that we could see, as Relics has kind of been their secondary opper when Kusta was on the team, and now even much more so since Nifty is on the team. So we'll see if they're going to be able to convert a couple more rounds here on their T side. But again, because they've taken so many guns out of the hands in the last couple of rounds from Winterfox, their money is in shambles right now. They lose this, they're on a save.
Yeah, if Selfless plays this a little bit slower, they'll at least give themselves the opportunity where Winterfox has no utility left. So because there's limited smokes and flashes on Winterfox, they're going to run out pretty quick. And as a result, all Selfless has to do is play a little bit patient, wait for all the nades to dissipate, and then it should just be a matter of executing onto the site, and Winterfox won't really be able to do a whole lot to stop it outside of just trying to mow them down with these weaker rifles. You can see they do have a FAMAS in play. Yeah, they have the M4s, but the FAMAS on Lex, and then also one kit. So if it comes down to a retake, depending on where that kit drops, it could change the pace of the round altogether, and Winterfox could actually be forced to save based on both the money and the fact that they wouldn't have enough time to get to that bomb. And Selfless is playing this perfectly. They are just playing passively. However, losing mainline on Ivy is going to sting a little bit. Oh, and XP3 goes climbing up the ladder on Blue Train and manages to spot Nifty. Actually, I think that was Green Train all the way back towards Ivy. So 2 early picks on that AWP. Exactly what we said. Just very limited answer from Selfless for the AWP presence of XP3.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nobody available to trade those kills out because it was from such a long range. So nice finds from XP3. He's up there with Desi now at 11 and 4. Now Relic's trying to get creepy on the inside bomb site. It's going to get shut down there by Desi. Just trying to lurk his way on up without a smoke or anything like that. And Desi's going to find a second. He's been stalwart, absolutely fantastic on this inside bomb site. And Selfless, I mean, they've gotten in and gotten a plan in the inside train yard, but every single time Desi's taken 1 or 2 with him. A couple of times it's been 4 with him at the cost of the Selfless lives. So 8-2 for Winterfox, 14 frags for Desi, 11 for XP3. Anger's only gotten 3, but when you're up 8-2, I don't care. You know, you got Desi knocking him down. XP3 is getting those early picks with the AWP, really opening up rounds for him. And now Selfless is going to be back onto a save, and Desi's actually going to push aggressively right up behind this smoke. I don't know if this is really a one-way, but he's going to be able to spot mainline, and with the limited firepower, he's not going to be able to take him down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a one-way. Depending if it's thrown right, you can see sort of the player, but it's really difficult to spot him. And Desi is just mowing them down on the B site. That's a 3K for him. Flowsig's going to get the other 2. It's a full household there on the B site. 3 for Desi, 2 for Flowsig. And now they're 7 rounds up over Selfless. They just slaughtered the B push there. And really, that seems to be the problem for Selfless. They don't have really any way to get into B. When they've gone B, Desi has shut them down time and time again. So as punishing as the AWP has been on A, B is almost out of the question at this point, because every time they try to go B, Desi annihilates them. So that's why they continue to go A. The AWP continues to be a problem, but it's the only place they seem to be getting rounds. So they keep hammering A, hoping they can just get past the AWP and get those close-range duels with the rifles and take him out. But thus far, it hasn't been too successful.
That's kind of the big thing in that round, too, is, I mean, the other side of that, Desi was the only one to drop during that save round because he ended up finally getting overwhelmed, so they only had 1 rebuy. So that really helps the economy here for Winterfox, because you can see they were really in trouble 2 rounds ago from maybe having a reset. Now they're okay for another round. So just because of that 1 round, it kind of negated all of the damage that Selfless has been doing to the economy. Now mainline's gotten himself out T-Con here. He's in front of the fire. I think they know that he's over here. As you can see, Anger kind of creeping up a little bit. And they're going to take a duel, and actually mainline's going to win that. He's trying to get across, and Nifty finds Desi inside. So a couple of openings to the avenues of attack here for this terrorist side of Selfless if they want to take it. But Flowsic is going to be able to come back in on one. Actually drops a nice molly down. Nifty's going to burn a little bit, but he does manage to creep up and find that kill. And in the meantime, Lex goes down as well. So it's all on XP3 1v2, but definitely in a position where he could clutch this, especially since he's coming around from ladder. But I think Mitch has heard him. He's going to position himself accordingly.
Oh, goodness. A great shot from XP3 there.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
I mean, Mitch was in such a good position. Nifty really didn't have any reason to peek that. So maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. Mitch hears the footsteps. He's in a close quarter or close angle that you don't really expect someone to play at. It's a bit off. So it really was an easy frag for Mitch to come up with. If anything, Nifty could go towards the right more, maybe get in between Sandwich and just kind of make noise, distract him. But there really wasn't any reason for Nifty to be holding that angle. but they get the round regardless. And they're going to go for just a full-on storm towards the A site to get that bomb down as quickly as possible and force the hand of Winterfox to go for the retake. Uber's going to push through the smoke spots. One, that's all he's going to get. Nifty did pick off one long range with the op. Lex responds, goes down immediately. Another trade for Winterfox as Desi comes through Z connector and spots Relics. It's going to force us to a 2-on-2 right now, but the CT side has a little bit of utility to work with.
Yeah, but this off from Nifty. Oh, XP3 just narrowly missing that shot. He goes back up onto the green train. He's had success from this position before. Knows Nifty's down there, but Nifty's going to get that frag. But now Desi, he's on the bomb. Hello? Okay. That smoke just started to fade just in time. If it had been a fresh smoke, we might have actually gotten that defused. That would have been really scary there for Selfless. But now they're up at 4 rounds. So there's definite room for, you know, a little bit of breathing room now for Selfless. They've gotten to 4. They could make this a 9-6 half. They've finally broken the economy of Winterfox, so this should be a 5th round for Selfless, barring any craziness. And it looks like it's just going to be a fast strat outside, and they're going to come up against these pistols out there. And you can already see it's starting to shred apart the Winterfox defenses. Relics with 2, Uber and Mainline on the board, and now it's just going to be on Flowsig. It's in the smoke, and there's the spray. Relics is going to find him. Just shooting down towards Ivy, just happened to clip him through the smoke. So 5 rounds for Selfless, a quick round for them, and definite opportunity for 9-6, and that would be definitely comfortable for Selfless, because I talked about, you know, 10-5, 11-4, typical CT side halves on Train.
You know what the problem is, too? Selfless has not really had much of a CT side when they've played Train this season. They got 6 rounds against Complexity, 8 rounds against Renegades. The only game they've won on Train was against a very struggling and sloppy CLG. And they start on the T side with 12 rounds on the board, so you can kind of see what kind of game that was. A good start in the round for Winterfox. We'll continue that thought in just a minute, as it is down to just 2 players here. Nifty and Relics left standing. Nifty goes up on top of the ladder trying to spot something over the smoke. He did see some things, but it was really close. Would have been quite difficult to spot those players. Great shot onto Flowsick, indeed, as he got up on top of Blue Train, jumping off of the Brown Train. It's down to a 2v2 yet again here. An all too familiar tale. Nifty and Relics, the last 2 standing, and Nifty's about to get flanked. There you go. Desi comes around from the backside. So 10-5 is the score for Winterfox at half. But yeah, I mean, Selfless has not had much of a CT side. 11-4 against Cloud9 on their CT side. So if I'm Selfless, even though it's 10-5, I'm a little bit concerned about how this second half could play out.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's really going to be a matter of, is Desi going to be able to keep that pressure on throughout this second half? Is XP3 going to continue to hit those off shots? You know, because we didn't see too terribly much out of the other players from Winterfox. Flowsick, you know, had an okay half. Lex was pretty decent throughout that half as well. Anger, you know, started to show up a little bit there at the end of the half as well, but in reality, I mean, it was pretty much a hard carry from XP3 and Desi in that first half. The outside train yard getting locked down by the AWP, the inside train yard with that M4 work, starting on that pistol round as well. So we'll see. Going into this pistol round, this is pretty much a must-win here for Selfless. If Winterfox get the momentum because of the cheaper rifles on the terrorist side, they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on them early in the half. So Selfless, if they can win this, go up to an 8-round scoreline to the 10 of Winterfox, we could see something interesting happen in this one, but time will tell.
You know, if you watch the Winterfox Pride YouTube series that they're doing, where they're going through and they're talking to the players, one of the things that Lex actually talks about in interviews is that out of game, these guys are best friends. But in game, sometimes when things start going poorly for them, they have a tendency to not be friends, and things start to spiral out of control. So right now, it really is just a matter of Selfless picking up the pistol, getting a few rounds, and maybe Winterfox will start to fall apart a little bit. You know, the seams will start to show, they'll start to tear and split, and that's when Selfless can start piling on round after round. And they are kind of known as the second half all-stars. How many times have we seen Selfless, back when they were even enemy, they'd be down 10-5, and they'd bring it back. I remember the most infamous one was a 14-1 half on Mirage, where they brought it back and forced OT. I mean, that's just the kind of thing that they do.
Lot of different pressure being applied on the map right now. Lex and Desi over at Ivy going to be able to clean out Mitch and Relics. Uber trying to hold on to inside, or pardon me, hold on to the outside train, but he even goes down, and now it's just going to be on Nifty. He's got 15 HP. He was gooshed. Does manage to clean up Anger, but it's a 1v4 at that point. So not going to be a whole lot Nifty can do into this round. Should be an easy cleanup for Winterfox, and this is where it gets dangerous for Selfless. Now, you were talking about comebacks. They actually had one yesterday. I believe it was map number 2 against Luminosity, where it was like 12-3 at the half, or 11-4 at the half, and they ended up winning 16-12. So only giving up one round in the second half and mounting a huge comeback. But this isn't the start to the CT side of Train that they want, obviously. So hopefully they can rectify this, maybe go for that double save, get the op into the hand of Nifty, maybe go for the double op with Relics, and start locking down rounds and methodically just picking things up one by one, stringing rounds together, build up the economy, and then prepare themselves to have a nice comeback in this matchup. But for right now, Winterfox is in the driver's seat. I mean, they could get up to a 13-5 scoreline here.
I mean, the truth is, Selfless, their train has felt sloppy all season, and a lot of teams don't necessarily focus that much on it because players don't want to play it. I think it's a map they need to spend more time practicing because it has been very tough for them. They've had a few games where they kept it close, but they weren't able to close things out. But this eco, not going to be close. 2 players down already. A dink shot onto Anger with the UMP, but he doesn't manage to take down, I think it was Mitch, who had pushed up in towards upper B. Uber at long range towards the back of B train yard. Spots one, but the P250 at this range combined with the aim punch, not going to be too much of a factor. It's going to be a 3-2 hold here for Winterfox, or actually a 3-2 attack for that matter, as they shred apart the eco round from Selfless. Selfless still going to have to eco one more time. It's going to be 13-5. They're down 8 rounds. I mean, there's really so little room for error. There's like no margin for error at all. They have to be very good as they start chaining rounds together. In my opinion, if it gets to 13-5, which it should, Selfless needs to make it at least 13-10 before they can surrender another round.
And there you go. The push coming in towards the inside train yard. Already Lex finds one. Flow6 MP7 is going to net him a little bit more money. And Desi chiming in. Flow6 with a second. Now Relic's all by himself, and Lex will make short work of that. Quick round there for Winterfox, 13-5. Now we're going to get into the first full gun round. They've got enough money on Nifty to go for the op. They don't have enough for a double up setup yet. So it's going to be 4 Colts in an AWP to start things off. And again, you know, Uber at 6-18, not somebody, if you're Selfless, that's not somebody you want underperforming on any map. He's kind of the go-to guy as far as the rifle work is concerned to have big matches. Relics being one of the other ones. We saw Mainline stepping up big yesterday as well, so we know anybody on this team can step up at any given moment. It's just going to be a matter of who is it going to be and when are they going to do that.
A site execution by Winterfox as the smokes cascade over the walls. Bomb isn't going to be there, though. It's actually heading back around towards Ivy. And they're actually going to run straight through in towards ladder. Well, that was interesting. So they smoke out A site. They run back in towards ladder. 2 players going towards inner. This is a very strange fake thrown out by Winterfox, and it's going to work beautifully. They pulled 3 players through Z connector in towards the B site. Bomb's going to go out of Ivy, and this right now is just showing that Winterfox has done their due diligence on the map. Nifty does get both players in the B site, but it doesn't matter. Bomb's going down on A, so now it's a retake here, a 3v3. Only 1 kit, and that's on Nifty, the Opper, who's all the way back towards old Bomb. If he dies in this position, he's not going to be too helpful with that kit, and that'll force the hand of Uber and Mitch to work that much faster.
The X factor, though, is the fact that XP3 is over by T-Con with an op, and Flowsick is actually up in heaven right now. And that's the scariest part. Now he's going to be able to pounce, actually drops all the way out and loses his life. A little bit of a miscue there. Uber does find him, but so much time has ticked off the bomb. There's no kit. So looking for maybe an exit kill or 2, but Lex finishes him off. And this right now is extremely scary for Selfless. Should just be a romp. This should just be the rest of this done for Winterfox. Match gets paused, talk things over. At this point, they don't have enough money to go for a buy unless it's a very light buy on FAMAS's and body armor. They're not going to have a lot of nades to stop a push quickly towards that outside train yard. And, if they do decide to save, then they're going to have to save 10 match points from Winterfox as they're up 15-5 at that point.
One of the things I love about Selfless is, like you had said, at any point in time, at any day, one of these players could be the one that leads the charge on the fragging chart. We saw it with Mitch against Cloud9. Nifty is a raw fragger. He's got a lot of talent with aim, still learning some of the more technical aspects of the game to round out and make it a fuller play style. Relic's very capable, as is Uber and Mainline, and we've seen all of them perform when necessary. So there isn't really that one guy who has to do it. But right now, none of them are really doing it. No one is really grabbing hold of the position of top fragger for the team. Sure, Relics and Nifty have 12, but they're only 6 above the bottom fragger of Mitch. They're just struggling across the board, and really it's been sloppy takes when they were playing on their T side, and now falling for very coordinated takes from Winterfox. I mean, clearly Winterfox knew coming into this map that Selfless was not exactly 100% on train, and part of that could be the roster changes. So they spent some extra time building strategies on train, and it's worked out wonderfully for them. They're at 14-5. Selfless comes in for the pause now. It's a little bit too late at this point. Winterfox is up 9 rounds. It's a buy round against what is likely to be a force buy from Selfless. This pause probably should have come in 5, 6, 7 rounds ago at this point.
Well, I don't know. I can't necessarily say that they should have paused earlier than this. I mean, you go into the second half, yeah, you lose the pistol round and everything like that, but you've got your tactics kind of ironed out as far as what you want to do on the CT side. And if you fail on that first gun round, then yeah, you can call the pause then. But I mean, because they got to 5 rounds in the first half, that's still not a bad half from Selfless on the terrorist side of train, that they probably felt, you know, okay, we can still handle this. We can still do something with this. And then that first gun round goes south, and Winterfox now sitting with a 9-round lead. Now's the time that they're going to use their pause and talk things over. It's going to be a force up here for Selfless. This is putting all their eggs in one basket because they're going to drain the bank on this one. If they don't pick up this round, then Winterfox is going to have a golden opportunity to take this with a huge margin.
Looking at the buy from the CT side, it's not going to be a great one. Mainline's going to get close with the Mag 7 here, sitting right at the bottom of B ramp. Jiggle peeking right now, and he hears the footsteps, so he's going to go for a similar one-way smoke that we saw from Desi earlier. And he just turns around and watches upper. Now he's going to go for the push through the smoke. They're going to be waiting for it, though. They spam it. Come on now, you can't use the trick we used on you in the first half. They're going to be all too familiar with that one. So now Mainline, he's kind of shown what he wanted to do, and he's going to have to wrap around back towards the ladder and hope to spot one as they go for the execute, if they go for the execute. He does get support from Relics, who's crept up towards Pop Dog. 2 players outside close towards T-Connector. That's Uber, who's right in front of E-Box, and then Mitch on top of the blue train, and then back towards Ivy. It's Nifty with the Deagle. And right now, Winterfox is just playing this slow. They know that it's likely to be a force buy here from the CT side, and they don't want to walk into any traps. And there you go. Killing Mainline is going to make things that much easier for them, as there's only 1 player in the B site.
It actually does take Flowstick down to 3 HP, but the big thing right now is that because Winterfox is playing this so slow, it's keeping Selfless guessing. You saw they rotated a couple inside. Now they've rotated back outside. They have no idea where this hit is actually coming from at the moment. That's a great flash, though. Relic's going to be able to capitalize, finds one, but now they're going to barrel out through ladder room. And that rotation, they're so far out of position on the outside train yard. One's going to push on through. That's Uber. Does manage to find one. Finds a second as well. That's 2 kills on the round for him and Mitch. Able to find Lex. Now the backstab from Relics. They should be able to get the AWP as well, and they do. And they upgrade to a couple of AKs. So they stave it off for the time being, but again, because their economy is so bad on the CT side right now, and because they're going to be buying down at this point, you can see they've got no money. So even if Winterfox win this round, again, that's going to put them in a dire situation for Selfless sides. That hard reset that we talk about so often. They're going to have no money for a buyout, and it's one of the most crucial, if not the most crucial round of the matchup, and they could just lose it.
Still, though, could that be the golden pause? Which, again, makes me wonder if the pause came sooner, would they have turned it around sooner? Obviously, it's just one of those things you just think about in the back of your head. But every once in a while, there's a team who every time they take a pause, they bounce back immediately after. And a lot of times, Selfless has been one of those teams. So they do it here with their force buy, and now they really need to start chaining these rounds together. The margin for error has gone down to basically 0. They cannot make any mistakes at this point. They need to be flawless. Mainline playing on the bomb trying inside. Relics with support coming towards Pop Dog. It's a 3-man stack outside, and Mitch and Uber both towards the front of T-Connector, and then Nifty again holding with the AWP back towards Ivy. Winterfox seems to be sniffing out the B site right now as Desi has just walked down B ramp, spotted towards the back of site. Didn't see anything, so he's going to walk back up towards the top of ramp. Mainline didn't get spotted behind the spindles, so he's still in a pretty good position here. Another smoke down on lower is going to delay things longer. Winterfox is taking their sweet time. We're down to 35 seconds. They haven't even moved yet.
Yeah, they've got two still outside of T-Con, two playing over by ladder room, and one harassing the halls right now. They're going to need to pick up the pace. It's going to be an explosion strat, and it looks like it's going to come towards outside. And you can see three of them are going to barrel out through ladder room, two are going to come out through T-Connector. But Mitch is ready for it, finds the opening pick. Nifty, not able to line that up, but Mitch bails him out. Desi does manage to finally chime back in, but now the op going to work. Uber up in heaven is going to be able to find one as well. It's all down to XP3 with the op. He's going to fall back, hang on to that for another day. And this could be, looks like it's going to be a reset here for the Winterfox side. So we should see them on a save into the next round. As you can see, the only one that's really going to have money is going to be Desi. They could go for a force up here, but they've got rounds to play with. There's no reason to risk it.
So it continues. It felt like Winterfox was just going to close things out, but like we had said, if they can get into the head of Winterfox, if they can start to cause Winterfox to crumble a little bit, Selfless could actually pull themselves back into this. And I saw a 14-1, so I know it's possible. Sure, they had Kusta at that time, but they also didn't have their in-game leader playing in that game. So, kind of an interesting thing that happened. It can always happen. Never know what to expect. It's NACS. Down to just 3 players here for Winterfox. Anger, Lex, and Flow6. Flow6 managed to pick up an op, but it's going to be a glass cannon here, completely armorless. Anger and Lex going with armorless deagles. So a bit of a deco play from Winterfox. 3-man stack towards outer yet again. Mitch moving up towards the green train. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get picked off by that op. He's peeking towards T-Connector, thinking it might be in that position, seeing as how that is where it went down. Uber on the bomb train, hoping to spot the players coming out of ladder. They don't have any flashbangs. All they have is a smoke on Flosic. And the re-smoke here, actually off the mark. That's a huge window here for Winterfox. They can just creep right around this smoke, and they're going to use that op to try and get entry. Oh, I like this. The totem pole stack. Mitch barely dodges the bullet from the op, but now they know that they're coming out of ladder, so nades and flashes likely to follow, and Winterfox soon to be potentially annihilated here by the rifles of Selfless.
And there you go. Instantaneous 3 frags come in from 3 different players on the Selfless side. Clean that one up. 8 rounds now for them. Gonna go back into another full rifle round here from Winterfox. And the scary part about this too, though, is with every round that Selfless wins, that money bonus starts to ramp up here for Winterfox. They're at 3. If they get it 4 or get it 5 and that money bonus starts to max out, then they're going to have to save every single round from this point out against a pretty formidable buy from Winterfox. And that's the scary part about it, is you could constantly be seeing all of that AK buy, Galil buy, and everything like that. They're going to have firepower to work with, but Nifty wants to make sure that's not an option. Takes Anger off the map early in the round. Mainline's going to get aggressive behind this. Oh, boy. There you go, XP3 barreling on in. Desi, though, he's got himself... Oh, no, he misses the spray. Does manage to convert onto Uber, but not able to find that second one. That was a little bit sloppy from him. Trying to get a little creepy on that outside train yard, but doesn't work out. But now they push inside. They forge on forward. They will get a bomb plant, so that's just going to put even more money in the bank here for Winterfox if they lose this round. But Flosic making a bid. He's going to fall to Mitch, and it's down to just Lex in the bomb site. Does take down Mitch, so it's Nifty versus 1. Let's see if he can pull the clutch. He gets the easy shot. Lex was a little confused as to where he was going to be coming from. Nifty uses that to his advantage. But 4 rebuys into the next round for Selfless, so they're not going to get up on the money game.
I mean, their cash has rebounded just a little bit because they've been able to get a couple of rounds going. But yeah, they're going to have to spend a significant portion of it to get back into this round with rifles. On the opposite side, though, even though Winterfox is getting close to that full loss bonus, there are going to be rounds where they're going to be light on utility. They're not really going to have all the stuff that you want on a map like Train. You know, heavy utility-based map, you need smokes to get both bomb sites. You know, the most popular strategy for A that you'll see teams do is cascading smokes over from T-spawn, blocking off a wall from basically T-hell across so that players can be in Z-connector and it doesn't even matter. And then on the B side, obviously, just smoking down the ramp and flashing your way through is a pretty common strategy. They're not going to be able to do either if they don't have those smokes and flashes to work with. And even if they do get the smokes and flashes, they're not going to have enough to prevent the retake. So they're in a pretty damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. They'd have to eco to try and build up the money to get it to where they need it to be to actually have solid round. Selfless trying to stave off a B side take here, but they don't even know it yet. Winterfox stacking up towards back halls. It's just a matter of time before the Smokes and flashes pour out. Mainline spamming through. No one's going to be there just yet. And here you go. The smokes and flashes are going to start coming here. You can see the lines tracing through the wall. Good flash from Mainline to try and delay the push down ramp. Now he's spotting the feet. Gets one. Going for the second. Not going to get it, but he does get support from Relics, who guns down both of them. Now Relics is holding an XP3. Jumping off. He actually dies as he lands. It's just Desi now in the sight. And even though he played so well in the first half, this is going to be a pretty difficult spot for himself to dig out of.
Yeah, but he's going to get the plant. And that's really the most important thing at this point, that he does get the bomb down. Now he pushes forward. He could catch Uber, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to convert that kill. So, Selfless up to 10, 14 to 10 now, but with the money bonus stacked up, you can see the money now on the terrorist side looking relatively good. They've all got over 4,600, with the exception of XP3 and Anger. And Flowsick. I spoke too soon. I didn't really look at it. 4,300 plus. And look at the nade kits that they have behind this buy now. Even with the head armor, because the AK is so much less expensive than the M4, it's more readily available that, you know, you can buy the AK head armor and a smoke and still not pay as much as, you know, buying an M4 and head armor. It's just the nature of the game.
Looks like they're going to go for that stereotypical smoke strategy outside. They do get a smoke landing right on Ivy, and Lex not really feeling up to pushing through it. The rest of his team has made their way out of T-Connector and Ladder. Anger sitting at the bottom of that one, but he's eating flashbangs left and right. Oh, Flowsick gets right on top of the train, spots one in towards Z, but traded out immediately. He was in such a good spot to completely annihilate the CT side. Relics, he's been lights out thus far, but surprise, surprise. The last man standing is going to be Nifty. He was in a 1v1 not that long ago. Oh, no.
How did that miss?
He pulled his crosshair at the last second. I think he may have just stutter-stepped with his strafe key. And now Anger is in full control of the round. And Nifty, a young gun who's got solid aim, could easily get outsmarted by Anger here, who's been around the scene long enough to have a few tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, Nifty's playing this smart, too. He knows that he got spotted from ladder. So he's going to reposition, and he's actually going to come out through T-Con. The big factor about this right now is that Anger has actually worked down towards Hell. But, oh, did he spot him? He does, but it's not going to be enough. Winterfox on the back of a 4K from Anger, going to get up to round 15 now. The money is good on the CT side for the most part, with the exception of Mainline, who is the low bank for his team, but he is going to get dropped a rifle here. Relics on a FAMAS. That's a little lackluster there. He's been so good with the M4 so far in this half. It's a little bit of a shame there, but nevertheless, not an unmanageable situation for Selfless at this moment.
Man, I'm just going to say it. Wifty? I had to.
Hey now, man, I mean, that shot looked like it was dead on. I'm not gonna lie.
Unfortunate.
It looked like
it was very close. I couldn't tell if he strafed too soon or just pulled his crosshair. It just didn't go where it needed to go. And that's like those kind of things that can get inside a player's head and it can just bore away at his brain. So I hope that Nifty can just let that one go. You can't win every duel, and sometimes you're going to miss shots. It's just the way the game plays out. You know, there's another map to play, so even if they do lose this one, he can't sit back and blame himself all day. He has to be able to reset. A good push in towards T-Connector results in a 1-for-1 trade, but that's going to favor the T side right now. A little bit lighter on money as they do have 3 Galils in play, but there is a FAMAS on Relics as well. Light utility on the T side also, not to be surprised by that one. Tech 9s to back up those rifles, though, so the pocket AK alongside the Galil could be quite deadly. Relics peeks out from Z-Connect. That's one. Nifty! Not going to get that shot either, and it's all on Mainline here in a 15-10. He's going to have to clutch in a 1v3 with just a flashbang and no kit.
Not going to happen. Flowsick superior spot. 16 to 10 is going to be the final score for this one. So, not a good start for Selfless in this series. Remember, it is a double header between these guys. We do have another map coming up between these two teams here very shortly. And to follow that one up, we have CLG versus Liquid, and then to finish the evening off is Splice versus Luminosity. Those are all double headers, but the next up is actually going to be... Where the hell is it on here? Trying to find what map it is. Mirage is going to be the next matchup here. So Selfless versus Winterfox on Mirage. Then we're going to have CLG versus Liquid on Cobble and Mirage. And then the first map for Splice versus LG is Train. And that is going to be followed up by Inferno. So, good series coming up, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next map, Mirage, between Selfless and Winterfox.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.